All right, so we're going to return back to C for a moment. Now that we've gotten through a few keys and a few songs, you might be wondering how you can embellish or put flourishes on your sound. And so I, as a worship leader, have to think about even the soft moments, not just when the whole band is playing and filling space, but when no one is playing except for me, and the pastor is speaking, and the point is for us to hear his word or to hear his prayer, to hear the scripture, but we are adding something underneath that can provide a little bit of life. And normally when you're doing that, it doesn't just cut it to play regular chords. It may still sound good, but a lot of times we're playing on emotion of whatever he's speaking of. And when you do that, you want to add a mixture of things. One of those things being pulses or playing at different times in repetition. And so I might go, okay, or I might go between the two notes. Go between three notes. Or I might go the other way. Or I might pose for some and arpeggio for others. Okay. But another way you can add flourishes is not just when you play certain notes. It is adding other notes that are unconventional to the sound. And you have to play around with this to figure out what you like the sound of. In the key of C, if I were to play that's not a good note to add because it's not in the key of C. But for the most part, any note that you add from the key of C, if you're playing any C chords, it's going to make your sound different. So if I'm playing C and I add this B here while I'm playing this, that changes it. Or I add the A and I go back to C. All I've done is add one note, but it changes the whole sound. To G, and I add this, or I add that. So just play around with the sound. There are official names to a lot of these chords, but as you are learning music and wanting to develop your improv faster, it's important for you to become creative and to figure these things out on your own without having to know exactly what you're playing, but just listening and trusting your intuition about what sounds good for your worship and your team. So you may have seen in chord charts, and maybe not yet, but in a lot of chord charts there will be a few different things that they put next to a letter or a number. And these things help you to identify what you're changing about the chord to make it sound different. And so maybe next to a G, you would see lowercase s-u-s. And so we're gonna play G as regular in order to get there. G sus is where you play your fourth note in your chord. So instead of playing 1, 3, and 5 together, you play 1, 4, and 5. So this would be G sus, and these two can go back and forth from root, G sus, back and forth. If you go down from their root to where you're playing 1, 2, and 5, this would be called G2, and it would literally have a G and then the number 2 next to it. So you have G sus will be G and then lowercase sus. And then G2, and for G sus you play 1, 4, and 5. And then for G2 you play 1, 2, and 5. Okay. Sometimes you'll see a G add 4, which means that you continue to play your regular G, but you add that sus note. Instead of moving your 3 to 4, you play 1, 3, 4, 5. Or if it says add 2, you'll play 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, and it kind of makes the chord a little muddy, but some people like that sound in their music.